Fucking hell. Right, we know how tough it was to get here today, so we know how tough it was for you guys to get here today, so let's make this one fucking loud. ArcTanGent, we go! Thank you.
That's a pretty amazing sight from up here.
Aye, if I'm silent for a minute, it's because I'm fucking shitting myself. I mean, we've thought it might... No swearing. This is my beautiful daughter here at the front. Well, with a wee pal, Eloise, it's Paul's dot behind him. And my wife is now here in our very first Two Promoters One pod, so thanks for your support.
She told me yesterday that she hears too much of you, so she's not interested in listening.
It's like, I hear it live when you're doing it. Like, magic. So, anyway, enough about my daughter and wife. How's it been?
Really great. Yeah, I'm feeling very, very happy about how sort of the last 2 weeks have gone and the last 2 days have been. I don't know, I hope everyone else is having a good time, but I am having a really I'm having a really lovely time, so yeah. Sunshine.
The problem though, that Wednesday is a trick, innit? Because you come in and you're a bit like, this is a nice wee, easy one, gentle, and then next thing you know, you're crowd surfing it and so is watching my far. You've lost your phone, Paul's phone, my watch at one point, 2 camp chairs, my earplugs and a Jane Doe t-shirt. And I was like, this is not a warm-up day.
He's not making this up. He lost 2 people's phones during one band.
To fill that band, because I was sick twice thinking about this. So I lost my phone, but I was convinced after 10 years of social media posts that it was stolen. So I asked for Paul's phone, and I was going to be in a fit of rage and panic, going about the tent trying to find my phone, and finally I found the security guard. And in a moment of madness, I gave him Paul's phone and I walked away with mine. So so I get this call for an unknown number about an hour later. He goes, "Gav, it's Paul. There's my phone." I swear to God, it was a bad beat. You got it back, didn't you? You got it back, mate. It was all good. It was all good.
My favourite bit was when you realised you'd lost your phone after standing on top of the crowd for 5 minutes, crowd surfing 5 times. You said to me, "Somebody's stolen my phone." But you were like upside down about 10 seconds earlier. So I think it was that.
I read it somewhere. It was definitely stolen, but it got handed back in. So the last time we done this at Trees, because we're entirely useless, about 4 days later I checked Instagram and it had one of those, you know, when you see all the dead posts where people say they shared your story but you never see it. So if you're going to take any pictures, fucking videos, whatever, I will see them a day. Make sure you tag us, make sure everything's going with that. Merch, James?
Yeah, merch is flying. How many times have we sold out this weekend?
Twice.
So thanks if you bought a t-shirt. We sold out on Wednesday. Kev, the legend from the merch. Where is Kev? There's a merch stall here somewhere. Oh, he's there. So yeah, Kev's done a reprint. We got some more t-shirts in yesterday, and they're going to sell out again today, I think. So
thank you.
Thank you to Kev and Gemma, you superstars. But if anyone would like to buy a t-shirt, at the end, this is probably your last chance. Towels are gone.
Be a reprint, but towels will arrive again tomorrow. Today.
Oh.
I mean, I like that for service. He said that the t-shirts when they arrive are still warm from the print press. So, listen, thank you so much for the support with that. It's been incredible. I mean, this fucking turnout's insane. And, thank you so much for buying the t-shirts. And you know you're a baller when you just get the merch tent to come to your show. So, at the end of this, we're going to do on the record, but we're going to hand it over to you. So we're going to get 2 people to add to the on record. So give that some thought now, because that'll come at the end of it. But before then, what's been happening in the last few days? Any panic, stresses? Tell the people something that they don't know.
Well, I mean, overall, the whole thing has been very smooth. I've said this a lot of times over the last couple of months, that festivals are easy when it's dry. 2000 Trees was not dry and not easy, and ArcTanGent has been, for us, building the site and just getting it all ready has been super smooth, super easy, very little stresses. Really, it's been really, really great.
And you got Armin Ra's production onto the bedsheet?
Yeah, so if anyone saw Armin Ra yesterday, it looked great, I think. So, yeah, I nearly massively cocked up by mentioning on the podcast before that I was worried about Amon-Ra and the king pole that sits in front of the stage, and then not liking it. And then after we released the episode, of course, it then came out that Amon-Ra were really quite unhappy about it. So if anyone saw, there were 2 projectors last night projecting from like that side and merging it. It looked really cool, I thought. So that was one sort of little technical issue to get over. And yesterday, so there's like a curse of Johannes from Cult of Luna.
We literally go again. Brian, you're going to have to edit this bit, pal. It's not working. Is it working? We're back.
Check.
Good. Right.
Fucking hell.
No idea. You just shut up, right? You're fucking... Man, I'll stop saying bad words, right? How cussed is this guy? I mean, fuck me, man. Clown Core, the sad season. He mentions fucking Johannes, the lights cut out. Like, when it builds up to damnation, he will not be involved in this podcast. Fucking Danny Filth will show up.
So that's like a remark. That looked like it was like fixed, right? As in, we did that on purpose. That is a remarkable insight into the pain of running events, because I went from like enjoying myself to really not enjoying myself very quickly. And there's like 10 people running around backstage looking panicked.
He's walking backstage. Do you think they'll stay? Do you think they'll stay? I'm like, well, there's no music, James, so they might.
So I think that when we release the recording of this, I think you'll find that the last words I said were the curse of Johannes, and then it went boom.
Exactly.
So, do you want to hear about the curse of Johannes?
I would rather not.
So, Johannes is in Julie Christmas, his band. He's also the main guy in Cult of Luna. And we've had so many issues with them over the years where we've I'm trying not to swear because of the kids, but it's really hard.
Fuck it.
So many times when we've messed stuff up and he's been like tearing his hair out at us, and we seem to get 99.9% of bands happy apart from Johannes. And yesterday, I just happened to be stood chatting to the production manager, and someone came over and said, have we found the 2 orange cabs yet? And he's like, no. And I'm like, whose cabs are they? And he's like, Johannes's. So basically, he's on his way to the site, and we've managed to lose his cabs. And it's just like, And they're like, we're thinking of giving him a Marshall instead of orange. And I was like, anyone else in the universe, yes, but not Johannes. Not Johannes. So somebody drove to Bristol, saved the day.
I think if anybody's seen the magazine, it's very well done. Thank you. Apparently, it's like, well, it's supposed to be wall-to-wall, like good coverage for ArcTanGent, but there's one person in it that says that ArcTanGent's a bit of a shit show, and it was Johannes. which fucking bizarrely they printed, so...
Yeah, the brief is, say something nice about ArcTanGent, and he's like, well, it's a bit of a nightmare at ArcTanGent.
The nicest thing I can say about ArcTanGent is a wee bit of a shit show. So, talking of your curse and Clowncore having to pull out, you went proper left field, spiritualised. Them to watch spiritualised last night? So, positive reaction. That was very out of your wheelhouse. Did you see it? Did you think it was good?
Yeah, I saw like the second half of it. Thought it was really cool, really different thing for ArcTanGent. Super chilled, even more chilled than like a lot of the post-rock stuff. So yeah, it was good. I thought it seemed like people were enjoying it, so I think it worked.
And you've said continuously in the podcast as well, it's like, they're not really an ArcTanGent band, it's not really an ArcTanGent band, so you've got Blood Command, Unpeople, then Spiritualised. 10 years in, is it like, there's no such thing now, it's not are you changing your view of what you think an ArcTanGent band is?
Well, it's definitely changed since 2013, when it was very like post-rock, math rock with a little bit of heavier stuff. I think now it's just like anything that is vaguely left field and weird.
Also, and fucking Metal and Damnation. You guys don't know the bands he's booked next year, but there's a couple that are just Damnation metal bands, so this podcast might not make 52 episodes.
You've brought that up a couple of times with me. I'm actually thinking it is a thing, isn't it?
No, it is a thing. I'm telling you, publicly, it is a thing.
So if you tried to book bands and then the agents have said...
That cunt James is going.
They're playing ArcTanGent.
Aye. So, best sets of yesterday. Well, best sets of the first 2 days. I'll go like in order from 3 to 1. Julie Christmas. Amun Ra, obviously. And then last night, explosions in the sky. I mean, like, yeah, see try to cheer this cunt up with post-rock. I don't know why he books the post-rock fest when I book the metal, because it's clearly the other way around. And he's like, you really love your post-rock, but explosion in the sky, well, spectacular.
You had your eyes closed for a lot of it. You were loving it, weren't you? Yeah. You were really.
But Julie Christmas was a special show. And the kids were up on the shoulders for Julie Christmas as well. They were loving it, absolutely loving it.
Yeah, actually, Johannes said to me that there was 2 kids, and it was yours and Paul's kids, wasn't it, on your shoulders?
Yep.
And he was playing to the kids for the whole set. He told me that. That was cool. But yeah, my set of the weekend so far is 100% Julie Christmas. I really like the record, but I'm not like running around screaming about it being the best album of the year or anything. But live, that is the best thing I've seen all year by a mile. She is just incredible.
Is Hayden Britland here? Is Hayden Britland here? The agent, the manager? No.
There he is.
Mate, where's my vinyl? Where's my fucking vinyl, mate? I'm like the biggest PR for Julie Christmas in the UK. I can't get a record. I mean, you owe me money.
Okay. But yeah, look, honestly, I'm moving this slightly away from you having a go at Hayden. We'll come back to you in a minute, Hayden. But I sat for the second half of her set, like right down on the pit barrier, and I've just never seen anything like her performance. Like how much she's like feeling it, and how real it is, and like it's just so like spellbinding. Yeah, amazing.
And right, so Julie Christmas was the best. Anybody else? Any other shout-outs for yesterday?
I mean, I really enjoyed Baroness. I've been trying to book Baroness for a long time. I thought they were great. And I mean, I watched like nearly every band yesterday, so I did a lot of like 2 songs here, 2 songs there, 2 songs there. And yeah, everywhere was packed, everywhere was great. Like, I watched Amun Ra, then Toki Horror, then Textures in the evening, and they were all packed and they're all amazing. I mean, Toki Horror in here was bonkers, yeah, it's amazing. Amun Ra is, you know, they're doing their thing. Yeah.
And so, I mean, it's terrifying to say, but there's another 2 days of this, isn't there? So, who do we need to see going forward today and tomorrow?
I mean, the thing I'm most excited about is Saturday sort of afternoon into the evening on the main stage, because it's basically like, I mean, it's just band after band. I mean, obviously you've got Mogwai and Electric Wizard, but you've got Bosk and Sultry Mafar. I mean, the run of bands on that day, I just think I'm really happy with. My 2 favourite albums of the year this year is Shaun and Slift. So they're like 2 sets that I'm really excited for. And Shaun doesn't really play live much, so what's it going to be like? I don't know.
Not to upset Hayden, but Shaun is clashing with Frail Body. And we're all going to Frail Body, aren't we? So there's my vinyl, definitely getting kept. Okay, so screaming success this year, despite the downpour. So what's next? What's the plans for 2025, 2026? What year now? 25?
I don't know. I mean, it's weird being like halfway through the festival now, and I don't know. I haven't really caught up with Si and Rob and stuff to think about what we might do differently next year. But it feels, I don't know. We always wait and see what people say afterwards. What's the feedback? What did people like? What didn't they like? What do we need to change? I mean, I think much like at Trees, we'll probably make Yokai bigger. So the Axiom at Trees and Yokai are the same marquee. Probably make that bigger. Yep. Just feels at times a bit rammed. I think the main stage seems about the right size. Do you think?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, I'm just thinking this all through in front of everyone. It's like it's so fresh. It's all happening. Yeah. So it doesn't feel like major changes are needed. I think Wednesday will sell the same number of tickets as this year. Next year, we won't increase the size of Wednesday because it was busy.
So we're at year 10 here, so happy birthday to ArcTanGent. But also, what do you want it to look like at year 20? Is this what you want for ArcTanGent, or is there a change in the future?
Yeah, I think ArcTanGent is much less likely to change a lot than Trees, because where do you go with ArcTanGent? This is like, we've created, I think, what we set out to create. This is it, right? Who are the headliners of the future? Well, you could list them off, but you're not trying to go to Biffy Clyro or Deftones or,
Because you can't afford it.
Yeah, well, yeah. True. But I just don't think there are enough bands that sit in this world that are bigger than the ones we've already got. So it's the right size, Opeth, Meshuggah, Devon Townsend, and in the future, let's book Mastodon. And there's a bunch of others on the wish list. So that are all around that same size.
As we said, you don't have your headliners locked in for next year, but if you sit here right now, what's the top 3 bands or page 1?
Well, Mastodon. I've actually given up on the Mars Volta, I think, I'm afraid.
No worries.
But yeah, well, I haven't fully given up, but I'll keep, like, every couple of years I'll give them a little nudge, but I don't think it's going to happen. I'm kind of resigned to the fact that probably won't happen. So, yeah, Mastodon. I'd really like King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. I think that would be really cool. I don't think that probably won't happen next year because I don't think they're around. But that's one for the future. And that is a sort of, it feels pretty left field, yep. Even for here, I think. So, yeah, that's my top 2. Deftones.
Everybody's top 1. Right, okay, we lost a bit of time, obviously, with fucking the curse of James. So let's where is the mic? The big man's got it. I've got 6 sauces here, so let's go 6 questions, and then we'll see where we are for there. Anyone got a question? The man right behind you there? In fact, you take control, mate. Josh, you're on it.
Morning. T-shirt is for you, James.
Amazing. The Wild Hearts.
Thank you. If anyone's got the Wild Hearts on your bingo card, you can scrub that out now. A couple of episodes back, you talked about the cost of your festivals, and Gav said that the price for Damnation tickets have essentially doubled in 10 years, but the cost of putting on the festivals quadrupled. If you see that trend continuing, well, do you see that trend continuing? And if so, have you got any plans to offset that cost landing on the punters?
I mean, it's a tough one because you wouldn't have seen it come in the first place. The pandemic certainly, I mean, those band fee rises came out of nowhere. I mean, and they just got astronomical, and then promoters started getting desperate, and like you would hear a band that were normally playing for 20 grand, were now asking for 100 grand in the UK, and you would be like, James, no one's paying this. Well, usually he would, but no. And then it would happen. But then the band's right, though. I don't have anything against the bands getting what they can get, but once that happens, they feel that they are a 100 grand band, and you're still like, the ticket prices are not matching, or even the attendance figures are not matching those numbers. So it's difficult. I mean, to quadruple again, I mean, the margins are pretty tight. I've said tons of times that Damnation didn't make money last year, and that's not going to continue. I mean, it's at some point you have to bite the bullet. This year's a screaming success, but next year again could be another tough one. So, I'm hoping that it's going to level itself out. But the pandemic just threw a strange spanner in the works. Then fucking Brexit made everything worse again. So, it's been tough, but I'm hoping it'll level itself out. I'll need to, because there's a lot of festivals that have either died or had to downsize to try and cope with those extra prices.
I think you got to be really careful, because basically the thing you can't do is put your prices up to try and just match the cost going up, because there's a point where people stop buying. It's the same every business, doesn't matter what you do. The demand is the demand, and you've got to set your price at the right place where people will come and fill the field. So for us, I'm not that worried about that, because we've had really, really strong sales for Trees and ATG. Both festivals are basically a sellout. We don't really like announcing sellouts in the last week. It seems a bit lame, I think. So this is sold out, and when we sell out, the numbers work for us. Like it's all good. So I think if you keep the festivals like with their own like individuality and people want to come, then we'll be fine. So.
And also, on that point, if you announce that you've sold out on the day of the thing, you never sold it. You're talking shite. So just keep an eye out for that, chancels.
There's loads. I mean, there's been loads this summer of
on the day sellouts.
On the day sellouts or the week before sellouts. A couple that I went to, and it's not a sellout. So yeah, bit lame.
Next, Josh is your man.
Hello. James, you've mentioned that bands don't play because they see ATG as a metal festival. So, why does that put people off?
I mean, metal's got a stigma, right, attached to it. And but I think metal is, I consider myself a metal fan, right? And I think we quite like that, because we're, supposed to be, no one else gets us. And that's how we like it. But I think if you're sort of more from the spiritualized Mogwai end of the sort of ArcTanGent world, I think sometimes it's a bit like, surrounded by Meshuggah and Amun-Ra, and it's a bit, I just think they think it's scary and a bit, I don't know if they understand that, this is what I always try to tell agents, if you come to ArcTanGent and see the fans watching the band, you'll see what a brilliant audience it is, and they're actually listening. They're not just chucking themselves around and throwing beer everywhere, although there is some of that, and that's great. But the people are listening. So when I was watching Baroness last night, because it's the same booking agent that does Mastodon, I was taking a video and WhatsApping it saying, look at this, it's amazing, it's packed. Everyone's just nodding their heads and really into it. So you just got to, our audience is great, right? So, and it isn't a Bloodstock or a download audience. It's some of the same people, but it's much more, beard strokey and pretentious. But yeah.
Hi there. With the increasing amount of crossover of bands between your two festivals, for better or worse, I mean, Sun's Journey Through the Night, going to be amazing today. Damnation band from last year. Would you guys consider collaborating to get the right band? For example, someone's a little bit unsure about whether or not they want to be active right now, and you say, well, do you know what? You're not going to rehearse for one show. Let me make a phone call.
I mean, it's odd you ask that, because it's kind of happening at the moment, but not for I suppose it would be a band that's returning. But what happened is the agent sent out this, and I fucking hate this, sent out this saying, this band's reforming, they are desperate to play Damnation. So me and Paul a band's desperate to play Damnation? And it turns out they weren't. They done that to everyone. They just went out. And so I phoned James, I'm like, do you know anything about this band X? He goes, I got the same email. So of course you did. So that burst that bubble, but then it was it's still interesting. It's right, but if they were to reform and they were to come back, I'm not talking about a headline band, but an interesting enough band. And we were going to, because we're not going to start outbidding each other or getting into some sort of pissing contest with an agent that's trying to con us anyway. But said, right, okay, well, why don't, if we're looking for one exclusive show in the UK, why don't we go back and say, look, you can do both of these festivals, and then when you announce your reformation, you could say, we're going to come in, we're going to do ArcTanGent and Damnation, and we'll see what the reaction is to that, if that does happen, because you're going to get people like, look at the state of this, these two are copying each other's fucking lineups. To be fair, he copies my lineup. I'm never copying his fucking lineup until next year.
It's a massive myth, just to be clear. That if you I've been trying to keep my cool on this. It's not true.
To be fair, he's getting grief because he's phoning me and saying, so what do you think about A Sun's Journey Through the Night? And I'm like, I think they're just quirky enough at that end of the black metal scale that they'll work here. It's no Dark Funeral, it's no Watain. I think it's quirky enough. So he's actually phoning to say, like, what do you think about this idea? And then online getting absolute dog's abuse for it. Which I don't mind. I mean, pile on.
But in terms of that band that you're talking about that we got the same email on, they'd be like, let's say, second from top in Bixler stage, maybe? I don't know. They're about that size. And for me, that's absolutely fine for them to play ArcTanGent and Damnation. If it was like a main stage headliner, you'd feel totally differently about it.
And, I mean, it's tougher for Damnation as well, because then that becomes, because that's our one headliner. I mean, ArcTanGent could probably swallow it. We're a bit like, we look like we're mini ArcTanGent. So, a headline band would be, but then to answer, the way you're talking is if we were getting something really special to come back, then you might just go, I mean, fuck me, if I had to book the Mars Volta, can you imagine?
But Sleep is the one. See, that would work. ISIS, yeah. Okay. I'd quite happily share either of those bands.
Deal. Go speak to the agent. Did I miss somebody for a sauce?
When will Daddy get a proper job?
You shouldn't say this to a 6-year-old, but fuck you. And your mum, fuck you. Oh, you want sauce? You want sauce? Jesus, man, she's like her dad. I'm going to chuck it over here so it doesn't land in your head, okay? Anyone else who doesn't want to insult me? Answer the question. It's a real job, Kelly.
Hey, gents. I just wondered what goes into naming the stages, particularly at this festival. They're all quite quirky names, so how much thought goes into Yokai and Elephant and Bixler?
It was very much like, I've talked about this before, but it's basically like what would you do if you were 15 and you had to name stages? You'd get all your albums out and flick through all the band names, all the song names, everything. We're even like translating Mars Volta song titles to try and find the festival name and the stage names. And yeah, so it's like, I guess everyone knows this. This stage is named after a Clef song. Yokai is a Boningen song, is it? PX3 is 65 Days of Static. So it's not very, I don't know, they sound cool, but it's proper like 15-year-old boy in his bedroom stuff, I think. But yeah.
And to answer that for Damnation, whoever pays the most.
Next question.
Who would answer that? Who asked the last question? This is the last one that gets a bottle of sauce. They were smart enough not to give me the stock for the merch tent this time, so.
So, James, you operate from 2 farms. What permanent changes have the farms made to the infrastructure to accommodate the festivals?
Well, at 2,000 Trees, we put in a lot of like permanent roadways. Although, as we discussed this year, they didn't really stand up that well to the rain. So it's something we're going to have to look at for next year. But that's the main change of 2,000 Trees. But we've also, I mean, for anyone who's been, the forest stage was once upon a time just a forest, right? So that stage is like super expensive to build. We had to clear the area, chop down some trees, as we like to do at 2,000 Trees, and build the stage. So quite a bit at 2,000 Trees, and there's places where you have to flatten the lands, change the gateways, but we've got, so they're very, Rich, who lives on the farm, does all the work for us. He's just down here now. He'll basically, he's happy to do anything we want him to, I think. So we say, can you make a gate there? And he says, yeah. So it's, we've done loads of stuff. Here is a bit different. This site it used to host the Big Green Gathering. So they'd already done the changes years ago. So when you walk between the merch and the bar there, you cross a road. So all those roads were put in years ago. Because that sort of infrastructure is super useful. Last week we spent a few £1,000s behind the Bixer stage making a big concrete pad where we can park lorries and stuff. So yeah, that's it really, I think.
I don't do anything.
Next, mate.
I'm pretty fucking good at that.
Who's next?
Morning. So between 2000, sorry James, this is one for you. Between 2,000 Trees and ArcTanGent, you kind of share a lot of your infrastructure, so your stages, your tents, and all of that. How does the cost of that work? So does ArcTanGent kind of piggyback off 2,000 Trees? Or do you say you need to get a new stage? Which budget does it come out of? It's a really nerdy question, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, there's a little bit of collective bargaining power, a little bit, but really, they're not piggybacking off each other. ArcTanGent hired this marquee. It was the new stage at Trees a few weeks ago, and 2,000 Trees hired that. And we own some stuff. We own a lorry, and we transport things like picnic benches and the fronts of the bars back and forwards between the festivals. But in terms of big stuff, it's the same contractors, same person put the staging in, same person put the power, sound, light. But we're not piggybacking off each other or saving money. Can the next question be about damnation? Because I think Gav's about to storm out.
It has to be about me. Thanks, Josh.
You're the kind of about damnation, but I guess it's pointed out. It's a bit of a controversial one. What's the worst booking that the other person has made for a festival in the past? And why?
Fucking hell. You know those agents
Including
in here?
damnation.
You know those agents in the tent? The worst booking for the other guy's festival? Fucking hell. You sat there thinking about that question all that time. Clowncore?
Oh, mate.
Cradle of Filth?
I was trying really hard not to say Cradle of Filth. So there you go, Cradle of Filth.
Thanks for that.
So I asked Sam from Portals this a few days ago. Yeah. So about Hammock and Bear last year at ArcTanGent, were there any repercussions? Because they did some climbing on everything. Bear broke the drum kit at the end. They were kicking everything. So what was that like as the organizer? And are there any other bands who've done some crazy shit and you're like, did you know this in advance, or were you watching them we cannot book these again?
Well, I didn't actually see that Bear set, I don't think. I was talking, the guy from Bear is here this weekend in, what other band is he in? Can't remember. Cobra the Impaler, yeah. I was talking to them and they were saying they want Bear to come back, so maybe I should rethink that. But the only time that I've ever been worried was with Dillinger Escape Plan, because they played Heavy Festival the week before they played ArcTanGent, and Greg just went around just breaking everything, and he'd stamp through all the monitors and stuff. So we did have a call with them before they came to ArcTanGent to make sure that wasn't going to happen. Because at a festival, breaking stuff isn't that great, because the next band is coming on. Tomorrow morning, there's a band coming on. But yeah, mostly you just let bands get on with it, and because it's it's a rock show, isn't it? We had Greg at 2,000 Trees. in Better Lovers last week or a couple of weeks ago, and it was fucking wild, wasn't it? I mean, he is wild, but you know, that's what you're buying.
I don't remember any bands breaking shit at Damnation, but the Ocean, when they played in 2013, when we were in the refectory, is it Luke? How do you pronounce his name? Loik? Aye. So he jumped off the balcony and the fucking venue lost their mind. They basically wanted to stop the festival right there and then. So when we booked him to come back and say 2019, I was having a conversation with Robin. I was like, hey, any chance you can get the guy to stop jumping off shit? And because you can't have that conversation because it's no planned. It just comes up. It just comes up and it happens. And I'm all for it. Like, Jesus, if you saw me up and so watch my far, I love chaos. But that venue did not like chaos, and it can be. That's a nervy one when you're a bit like you don't know how this is going to pan out. And the room that they played when they came back, the balcony was a lot higher. I was like, aye, and the crowd are facing the wrong direction, so we were a wee bit nervous with that.
But that is a big jump, isn't it? I didn't actually see that, but that could be dangerous, right?
Aye, no, definitely. Well, much like Greg for Dillinger, I mean, they're jumping for, if the people aren't prepared to catch them, that's going to be, and that's a weird one as a promoter, right? Because in my fan head, I want all the chaos. I want to see the building burn. You know what I mean? But and a promoter, I'm like, I also want to keep my house. So it's like, so you see the chaos kicking off, and you're like, yes, I love it, but you're also like, this could get dicey with the insurance. So it's a weird mix. We'll get time for, we've got like 4 minutes left, so one more question, and then we're going to get 2 on the record picks.
Okay, so it's Monday morning, you get a call from Live Nation, they've binned off Andy Coppin, and they want to offer you the lead booker job. They give you complete control. What do you do?
Say no, I think. Right. Yeah. Or take it and then like ruin download and then come back here. But yeah.
It's a weird one because do I need to give up Damnation to do that, or can I do both? Because if I can do both, I'm definitely going to go and book 9 Inch Nails and Deftones and Smashing Pumpkins, and I'm going to have a great old time with their money, and I'm going to do Damnation. But if I need to bin off Damnation to do it, then no. I would Monday morning or not, it's not happening. So aye, it's a weird one because once you're in, it's a weird spot when you run your own, like you're no answering to anyone. I mean, to go to Live Nation and then have 15 different bosses, whether you were booking Metallica or not, would be weird. I mean, I've already got one boss sitting there in front of me. 2 actually, if you can count Charlotte, that's doing some sort of dance show. Right, guys, listen, my London record picks are fucking brilliant, right? And his are a bit patchy, so let's get 2 crackers. Who's got a good one? There's a big man here.
We've got fans birthday on 9 from this weekend.
Go and check out Twin Zero. They're Monolith EPs and Men's.
Are you in Twin Zero?
I reckon Monolith Part 3, where it kicks in and gets heavy, that riff is immense.
Monolith Part 3 by Twin Zero.
Yeah.
It's on. And the last pick, he looks excited across here. You just shout it. Great tune. What about Porcupine Tree? You think I've trying to get them reformed? They would be an ArcTanGent man.
Yeah, I've had Porcupine Tree conversations, and Stephen Wilson as well, but it's never quite worked out. It's very prog. I don't know if is it too prog?
No, listen, thank you. This is fucking unreal. Thank you so much. Grab the t-shirts. Make us rich.
We're going to have a photo, so don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere.
If you guys want to put your horns up behind so we can all see you as well.